Okay.
So, thank you so much for being here. We are honored to have Adam Spells with us here today. And I met Adam Spells spring 2012 while I was teaching at Lakeland Community College teaching composition. He was one of 7 students in my 8-week intensive composition class. I remember how the first or second day of class, Adam came up after class and bravely disclosed the immense weight he carried. He had just gotten out of prison. The immediate shift from prison to school, while positive, was jarring, and he didn't know if he could make it. I was honored he confided in me and gave him my support and encouragement. I was even more honored when he shared his struggle and background with the class in the course of discussing racism through African-American author Rafe Ellison's story, Battle Royale. I know that the lessons and life story that Spells shared with his peers that semester was a lesson and experience that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. So today, you in this room are very fortunate to hear from poet and motivational speaker Spells and to have the opportunity to engage with him. So please.
Thank you. Good job. Hello, everyone. I'm a little nervous. It's the first time I've actually had the opportunity to speak in front of anyone for this amount of time. I'm grateful for each and every one of you who showed up to class today. I'm honored to be here. I've had a rough life, and I'm grateful to share that with you. It's not rough anymore, actually. Dr. Andres has put me in an opportunity to display what is very passionate to me, and that's my poetry. That is how I express myself. That is how I help people heal. That is how I inspire. And hopefully today I'll be able to do some of that with you. The story that I shared with Lakeland Community College was pretty impactful. It stays with me. It's one of the things that moves me. I actually had a great upbringing. I had a mother and a father, both ministers. My father is and still an elder, and my mother passed away, Minister Teresa Clark. I had a very spiritual background. We went to church Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. We stayed at church, you know, and in the home, I didn't spend a lot of time with my siblings or my parents. I spent a lot of time alone. And that was when my writing was created. All the things that I seen outside of the world, like you guys are discussing masculinity, it wasn't what was inside of my home. It wasn't that I was attracted to it. It was just that it wasn't inside my home. You guys are teaching me the Bible and go to school, and I'm doing those things, but this is happening out here, and you guys are saying nothing about that. So of course I discovered it for myself. I had a family, it was the Johnson family, that I would frequently run to when I ran away from home. I got in trouble in school, and going home meant that I was going to receive a whooping or some type of punishment. And I began to be rebellious against that. I felt that I could do what I want to do, and I didn't have to receive no punishment. Because in my mind, it was like, hey, mom and dad, when you see these other kids, I'm sure they're not on punishment. So, you know, what can I do? And I got myself in some really big trouble one night. I was at Johnson's family house. They were drinking, smoking. Mind you, I was 11 years old. Wasn't even supposed to be over there. My parents did not know where I was. I had gotten in trouble at school that day, so that meant I was running away from home. I wasn't going home. And that's how I ended up at the Johnsons. Well, the lady, Mrs. Johnson, I won't mention her name because her family asked me not to, was being assaulted by her husband. When I say assaulted, I mean like I saved her life. He was gonna end her life. I didn't physically feel like I could make a difference, but I chose to use a weapon. Grabbed a hammer, and I defended her. long story or that she was able to make it out of that situation, and I was too, with a few bumps and bruises. The law got involved. It's funny that they didn't even believe me. They didn't believe that I was saving her. They believed that I was some 11-year-old child with this great idea of hitting this guy in the back of the head with a hammer for nothing. That night started a series of trouble for me. Growing up in the neighborhood where everything outside of my interior, my home, was challenging. Drug dealers literally right in front of our house, up and down, all times of the night, prostitution, all of those things. And only on Sunday did I get that opportunity to get away from that when I went to church with my parents. But Monday and Friday, I had to face reality. I had to go to school. And although I was pretty smart and wanted to do good with my classes, I was challenged. I didn't want to be the nerd. I didn't want to be the school kid that dressed nice, because none of my friends had good clothes. Absolutely none of them. So I started hiding my clothes outside. I started wearing some of my dirty clothes to school, old shoes, because I wanted to be like them. And just like I am now, I didn't want them to feel like they were alone. And that ended up me going to prison. One of the main things that I try to do with my life today, I work at a laundromat. It doesn't pay a lot of money, and I can get a better job. I'm highly qualified to cook. I'm a great chef. Just had an interview that I turned down because I choose to stay at the laundromat because for now, that's where I belong, because there's people there that I can help. There's people there that I can talk to. There's people there that I can do my poems for, and they understand. I meet, and I want to say maybe that it's a blessing from God that I can sense when someone is going through something, and before they leave my presence, they're smiling. It means a lot to know that you're not by yourself. It means a lot to know that someone cares about you, and I don't have to know your name to care about you, because I've been through so many situations that I can relate. I've been homeless. I've been incarcerated. There's not a lot of room for any more negativity in my life. So if you're going through something, then I choose to try to help you with it. I have a few poems here, along with the things that I want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to share them with you. One of these poems is wrote that I entered into the contest at Lakeland Community College. It's about what we see in magazines. I actually wanted to bring you guys something real. And the back of this, I wrote this on the back of a quartermaster paper. This is how you order your clothes when you are incarcerated. I still have it. This is the actual rough draft. I was reading the magazine. I started on page 29, and oh my, all these acid drinks, Absolute, berry, cherry, citron, even peach and pear. Next to the bottle, of course, a beautiful girl that was damn near bare. The next page, some skipped out, there's 33 for me to see. A drink and drive sign next to an ambulance parked outside of a bar. I got lost in the message because it looked like they said it was cool to drink berry and cherry and citron as long as I don't drive around. But they tore the page out where it said that effects of alcohol could and will destroy the developing fetus. It's all about the money, so no one cares about the next drink, especially if they can justify it by not driving as long as no cars are colliding. It's a funny scenario to see one make a toast to long life and great health when himself is half inebriated from filled glasses of liver-killing liquid that staggers mobility, train of thought and decision-making, all of which I need to survive in a world of drunk people speeding, seeding and failed romances, drowned in the clear brown oceans of 90 proof by 40% alcohol content bottles. Have you ever wondered why they don't make a cemetery magazine? All of my poetry, I try to send a message. I'm working on my manuscript right now. I believe that you're granted so many years in life to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish and that you set your own pathway. I believe that you can shorten your path by not giving the world your raw talents. For example, I don't know you. What's your name?
Anna.
Something that you like to do? You like to paint. So you're an artist. And that's wonderful. Can you imagine your life without painting? Exactly. It's like I couldn't imagine my life without writing. Dr. Andrews, very, very great writer. And I sat down and I read every page. One of the first poetry books that I've ever actually read. I used to read poetry books like, I don't want to read this because I don't write like this. I'm not reading it. I'm not even giving it a chance. And I seen the different side of life inside of that. And it made me understand that I have to keep doing this. I have to. It's a part of me that is supposed to be. I was very, very scared about coming in. I spoke with my uncle and he said, well, she invited Adam Spells. So go as Adam Spells. Don't try to be anybody you're not. Try to be anybody you're not going to be. And I had like, you should have seen me. I had 1,000 little poems laying around me when he told me that. But I just came with these, because these are my life. Some of those poems were from 2005 and 2006, but that was the me who hadn't realized that I can touch people with my poetry. I don't just have to be emotional and write down everything because I have nobody to talk to. I can actually do something with this. I can touch somebody. I can help heal. One of my friends, we were incarcerated together. He was the perfect example of the video Tough Guys that you guys and I watched with you. I wanted to make sure that I shared with the class from a distance. And Jackson Katz, he was a wonderful author, and I really like how he emphasized how boys are killing boys. They're not men yet, and how the media, they shadow a lot of the things that really need to be talked about, like the emotional mind state of some of these guys that's doing these murders. Men and women. It's not just young black men that's dying. It's young men, it's young women that's dying in these streets. But they come from something. And they come from the same place I come from. And that's why I use my poetry to be their voice. Because this is exactly what they're going through. I wrote this also a long time ago. I wrote it while I was on my way. I was getting ready to come home. I was trying to build my spiritual self. I didn't want to come home the same way that I left. In my mind, I left a villain. I was a bad person that made mistakes because I knew right from wrong. I can't say I didn't know right from wrong because I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be when I was 11. When I robbed a store when I was 19 years old, I knew I wasn't supposed to do that. But when you commit things and you do things, they do become habitual. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, they become habitual. Painting is habitual. Writing music is habitual. Going to school, being an overachiever, it becomes habitual. Me trying to find somebody that I wasn't, it became habitual and I ended up where I did. But I wrote this because I had this relationship with God and I was trying to express that to Him through my poetry because there wasn't a lot of people that were incarcerated with me that was even willing to hear about anything that had anything to do with religion. It's called Myself and Your Love I Lose. The promise of potential that each morning brings illuminates more fully in the shadow of your wings. And the silhouettes of hope captured in my dreams are given life and sustenance through the words that you speak. Apart from your light, I am unable to see. Left to my own in the business, I just cannot succeed. With all my strength and my might, I fight for my life, summoning all my energies, and still I can't even breathe. Only in my weakness do I have courage to face your word, and you tell me to remain humble and give thanks. In my heart, I'm conflicted. I weep and I pace, counting the wasted moments I spent running from your grace. And walking with you, you teach me to grow from my pain, promising me you'll always be there every step of the way. Through the fire and the mire, I fear no trial, trusting you are able to give a new light to each day. Through the eyes of eternity that I aim to view, the incomprehensible ways understood to be you. Submissive to life, by way of death I do choose, and moment by moment, myself and your love I lose. Guys, all right? See tears in your eyes, it's okay, I'm crying too. My life is real, you know. Things I've written about is real. John Carroll University, I see this as like a very prestige school. I met a young lady right before class named Leah. She was a very pleasant person. I was like, wow. She put me at ease because I was nervous. I was like, well, if I'm going to talk in front of a classroom full of pleasant people like this, well, I'll be just fine, you know? I was nervous too, but I'm going to engage you guys in conversation. So I'm going to hear a little bit about you guys. Since you be willing to hold the camera, let's talk about you. What's your name?
Brooke.
Brooke, what do you like to do?
I like hanging out with friends a lot, or like, I guess watching Netflix. I don't know. Play volleyball.
Play volleyball. What are you trying to major in? What do you want to be in life?
An accountant.
An accountant? Pretty sweet. My sister graduated from accounting. Are you, young lady?
My name is Vera.
Vera. It's nice to meet you. What do you like to do?
I like reading, playing piano, also hanging out with friends.
Hanging out with friends. Everybody likes hanging out with friends. And you, my friend, you said your name was Max?
Yes.
What do you like to do?
I like playing baseball, watching movies, all that kind of stuff.
What's your major in?
Visual communications.
Visual communications? Enlighten me. What is that?
So it's like media and like video production, film production, stuff along those lines.
Sounds pretty good. And my friend?
I'm Dean. I just enjoy working with technology, that kind of stuff.
What's you?
I'm Kennedy.
What do you like to do, Kennedy? I like your name.
I've been over the president. I like to sing and spend time with my family and friends.
Family is very important. You young lady?
Morgan.
Morgan? One of my best friend's name is Morgan. It's nice to meet you. What do you like to do?
I like to travel.
Oh. So you planning on doing a lot of traveling in your life?
I hope so, yeah.
Country to country or just the United States?
Well, hopefully all over.
All over. How about you?
My name's Paige.
Nice to meet you.
I like working out a lot.
Okay. You're into health and fitness. Just like staying in shape.
Yeah, it makes me happy.
What are you majoring in?
Biology.
Biology. Cool. You back there in the corner?
My name's Jill.
Nice to meet you, Jill.
Nice to meet you. I like to play the piano.
You, ma'am?
My name's Tori. I like fashion and thank you. I'm sorry, I have a lot of intellectual conversations about the way America is set up, so race, social class, and things like that.
That's beautiful. And you know, I wanted to see the variety. Got biology, piano, fashion, all different walks of life. And that's the same thing that's in my neighborhood, a lot of variety. But the difference is the support system isn't there like it is maybe for you guys. You know, I went to college, I was 30 years old when I decided that I wanted to do something with my life. And I had to be encouraged by a wonderful person in my life that I had the pleasure to meet by the name of Sabrina. She introduced me to Lakeland Community College. And it wasn't even fair how it happened. You know, I thought I was going to Tri-C Community College in inner city Cleveland. And that's where I wanted to go because I knew that it was going to be some people there from the hood that would understand me. And she signed me up for Lakeland, and I didn't even know. So the day we go to get my books, I'm going towards the RTA, and there's this different bus called the Lake Train that you got to catch to Lakeland. I'm like, hey, where you going? So, we got to go this way. It's a different route. I know you're not comfortable with people yet. Let's go to route. Not many people catch this bus. She sold me. I wasn't ready to be around people yet. I had just came home. At least I thought I wasn't. We get to Lakeland Community College, and I'm like, well, we're here now. I get my books reluctantly. She asked me what I wanted to sign up for, classes, what classes. I'm like, well, English, I gotta write. You know, I don't care what you sign me up for. Just sign me up for English so I can write. Make sure it's a poetry class. If there ain't no poetry class, I'm dropping it immediately. Class starts. I meet Dr. Andrews. I enter into this poetry contest. I end up winning first place. My confidence is building. Then things take another turn in my life. In 2014, Sabrina got sick and took ill. In the March of 2014. I wake up, she's coughing, I'm getting ready for work to go cook at a restaurant called Scrambled Marie's in Menor. She's coughing, but something in my spirit won't let me leave her there like that. Although it's fine to me because she has bronchitis and people with bronchitis cough, right? We end up walking to the emergency and they say, hey, everything is going to be fine. Go to work, have a great day, see you later. I go to work, I try to have a great day because I know I'm going to see her later. I stop at home, I get her outfit, run it back up to the hospital. This goes on for about 2 or 3 days until I start realizing that, well, maybe things are bad. Maybe things are a little worse than they appear. For 11 days, briefly, it was so many tests, you name it. Whatever test you could think of in the medical field, I think they ran it in those 11 days. They flipped her on her stomach, they tried all type of things. The end result was she passed away. I was with Sabrina quite a long time. Met her when I was incarcerated. We started writing together as just pen pals, and I promised her that I would be loyal to her, and I did. I came home, and I was loyal to her. The impact that had on my life, it hadn't even really set in yet, because at that time, unfortunately, I told you I went through a storm. My mom was sick. She was battling lung cancer and some disease called sarcoidosis. So, I was trying to wrap my mind around, okay, there's no Sabrina. I still got my mom to focus on. You know what I mean? We get her back into health, get her back going. And 30 days later, she passed away. This is the first time that I've talked about those situations and having teared up and cried. Because God does give you strength in the things that you want to accomplish, in the things that you want to do, in your efforts to write, in your efforts to play the piano, to be an artist, to paint, whatever it is you want to do, you can draw strength for those things. A lot of people, not my family, because my family loves me and I love them, but a lot of people who I thought were my family, they didn't think I was going to make it. They didn't think that I would be standing at John Carroll University in front of this great classroom full of students. They had already counted me out. But little did they know I was in the bedroom writing. I was crying, and I miss them, and it hurts every single day. But I had to build off of that. I'm going to share this poem with you now. It's called Ask Yourself. It's a poem that I wrote just to relate to people that, you know, ask yourself about the things that you're going through and that you can overcome them. And I'm just going to get to it. Ask yourself, how many times have you lost friends and maybe swore that you were hopeless? Lost jobs the same day you were robbed and swore that your life was over? How many times have you lied? How many times have you failed when so many expected you to try? And you got a call from a loved one with news that your family had died? And how hard has it been for you? Or is it sometimes easy too? You threw your hands up and instead of standing up and saying, forget it, it's just no use. How many times have you prayed to God and you blamed Him for your torn down dreams and your tire get flat in the middle of winter with no bus fare laying around? Everybody can remember how cold it gets in December. I won't be no pretender and won't state about my past incarceration, because me being homeless was a demonstration of some of that agony that I was facing. However, I'm still strong enough to move a mountain and no fear for any man, because the Lord is my Savior and He promised me that I can. No worries about tomorrow or any food that I should eat. No disappointments from disloyal friends, the humbleness given from perfect peace. So ask yourself, how many times have you cried? You look for answers and you found lies, and how much pain does one take before He moves to change face? You know how small a mustard seed is? That's what I've been surviving off of, just that small grain of faith. In the video Masculinity, he talks about how in the media, how the toys started off small and over the years they grew bigger and bigger. And just how the guns started off small and over the years they grew bigger and bigger. You know, the complexion of men and how they're supposed to look. In a peaceful place in your minds and hearts, when you sit down and reflect upon your life and ask yourself questions, you set goals for yourself. Maybe some of you use a notepad, some of you write songs, some of you paint pictures of your future, what you want your life to be. But in those very moments, there are choices. I made bad choices then, making good choices now. But you guys being here, students at John Carroll University, don't ever, for 1 second, think that you didn't make a good choice. Education is very important. You know, people say, and I know you might get tired of hearing it, drilling in your head, educate, go to school, go to school, go to school. Yes, go to school. Get you an education. Because school is not only it's not just an education, it's people you meet, opportunities, resources. All those are avenues that you need to be successful in life. Those are things that I did not take advantage of when I was younger that I'm now taking advantage of now. You have an opportunity while you're still young to do anything in life that you want. And yes, you can do anything in life that you want. No one should be able to tell you that you cannot. I am Adam Spells. I have survived a turmoil of events. I've lost my best friend. I buried him 6 months before I even went to prison. 90 days before my incarceration release, my grandmother, Eva Clark, passed away. 2 weeks before that, Roger Clark, my favorite uncle, passed away. And then I come home and start Lakeland and think my life is finished and start over and be great. And then Sabrina passes away. And then my mother passes away. And guess what? I got up this morning and I got dressed very excited to come to John Carroll University because this is a part of life that's called progress. And I believe that it's a beginning for me. I believe that it's an opportunity for me to make great things happen despite all the things that I've been through. So maybe or maybe not, you guys have maybe been through some things. I'm not sure. I'm not going to ask. You know. But everyone does. Trials and tribulations are steps. And when you step, you move up. You move up. Trials and tribulations are steps. When you step, you move up. Everybody is going to go through something. It might be some simple things like your car might get blown, a tire out on your way to an interview, to a job that you might feel in your heart you know you're going to get. It's not the end of the world. It might not have been meant for you. Or it might have been that you had to take a different avenue, a different route. The young lady that I met, Leah, she turned down the job, I believe, at the Cleveland Indians to work with a health and wellness development center as a physical therapist. She was wondering, telling me, I think I did a bad thing. No, doors close for other doors to open. But you do have control over those doors that you walk up to. And I wrote this about my mom. I feel like I have to honor my mom. There's no way that I could have an opportunity like this, as short as life is, without honoring her. I definitely miss you. I'd give anything to have you back. Your absence causes voids that often seems to discourage me, but I just focus on the facts. You were beautiful, and everything that you do, I remember most times in the kitchen I spent